Hello, everybody. Ace of Trades here for Thursday, March 12th, I think it is. And the Bible says in Psalm 106, verse 48, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen. Praise ye the Lord. Indeed. So, I had a little bit of a hiccup today with my video, so I'm starting it over again. It's about 2:30. But I'll just take you through what I had talked about in the video. So we had our overnight lows here, overnight highs here. I put another line up here because you can see there's a little gap, but chances are with a gap that small, it's not going to be as relevant as this high here. Um, and we got this move down and kind of chopped around. And so it's kind of difficult to find, you've got one leg here. It's kind of difficult to find a second leg. We started just chopping around. None of this is really any good because, I mean, you just can't take anything in this chop. And there's nothing discernible here. And then we get a clear leg down. So that's what we like to see. And pumps up because we're hitting the overnight low, I'm guessing. But it can't reverse. It immediately gives us a second leg down, punches out. So now, of course, we're expecting um, an attempt to reverse. And on this reversal here, I was I was hoping to get something long here because we get this big, nice run up and we get two legs. This bar was not good enough for me here, so I didn't take anything there. Um, it go, it does pump up and make a new high, and I said that I'd probably be holding a runner there because when you get a nice strong leg up and you get two legs of correction, it's often you get a second measured move up. So, but and then I was talking about how I was managing the runner here. I probably would hold it, and I think during the video I said I probably would move my runner up to here, um, at this swing, just to kind of, capture some points because, the trend has broken and made a new high. So even though you might be expecting a second leg up, this has played out. So it could reverse, which it ends up doing. And then at this point, I tried to get in this. We had this strong leg down. We got two legs correction off the EMA here. And I tried to put my order in here, but it shot down too fast. I couldn't get my order in time. And so when tried to put my stop order up there, if you're already past the point where stop prices are accepted, it just kicks your order back out to wherever you had it sitting before you dropped it in there. So I couldn't get in, and so that would have been a good trade there. And then we get this second leg down, and then it starts pushing up again. And then here I talked about where is it? Pushes up. So some people will put arrows here and say, that's you can try that. That's aggressive because this played out with two legs with new low, but it is aggressive. You never know exactly where um, the price is actually going to stop. You could get ticked in there and it could go down, just like here. Maybe you think, oh, we're going to go higher there and you get ticked in and stopped out. Maybe you try that again there and get ticked in and stopped out. So this is a little bit, when you get these pin bars or hammer bars at the extremes, usually those are a little bit more reliable to tell you that prices are going to go the other way, but not always. Um, I'm most of the time I wait for a higher low or a lower high, depending on the context. You get this lower high here, but that's no good for short because this uptrend is really unbroken yet. So you could push up for a new high. It doesn't, just reverses. And then at this point, I think I was talking about how, there's a clear bearish imbalance now because prices are failing to make it up into the range, and they continue to push out. So let me push back down, and we kind of chug sideways there a little bit. There's nothing going on here. I don't like this. Some people may see that as a pattern short to take, first attempt, second attempt. But this downtrend already has a break and one leg, two legs down to a new low. So you could very well get trapped there, and you can see how close it came to trapping someone, and it doesn't, or trapping anybody who wanted to short there. And you can see it doesn't go far, pushes back up. This is where I was looking for this is where I was looking for another reversal. But so you get one leg down, push up. You get a second leg down, and I was looking to take, if this bar would have closed up here, I probably would have entered there thinking we're going to get a retest, but it doesn't. It just pushes lower. And that's why you wait on those signal bars. This bar is no good now. It's too weak. It actually pushes down lower and it does end up going up then. But, it's past. I'm not going to take that into the EMA. I'm not going to take, that now. It's a higher low, but it's an inside bar. And, the higher lows are always riskier to take. And then you get push up. You make a new high there. EMA is catching up, so you can't do anything. If you would have got if you would have got this pattern right here immediately, then that's probably okay to take because this move up now has a break and a new high. So in all likelihood, you're going to get some relief there if it would print at a lower high. Ends up pushing down, and now you can see we start to go sideways. I probably don't have this range on here yet, and it's even tighter than I would have had it. I think I would have had it like this here, and I think I had the lows like down here somewhere. But as prices started to, you can see we got pretty good resistance at this level, but it's kind of uncertain if there's any support down there. So then we got these two legs up. We got to push out, and I was thinking, I think at this point, I was looking for maybe a second leg back here for this move to retest, but it just reverses and goes up. So you get one leg break, second leg, and I said that one's a more that's a riskier entry there. It's more aggressive because you're just going short at the end of a big bull move, just assuming that we're done going higher there. So that's always aggressive. It's always better way on a lower high. And then I said this lower high, for me, it just closed too close to these levels, because often levels that were, in this instance, former resistance, they will turn into support sometimes. So I don't want to short here and get bounced out of there as this level decides to turn into support. If this had closed a little bit higher up, maybe another 2 points, then okay, I'm okay with that. But it just closed too low into that area. And you can see this ends up holding again, push down. It's kind of ugly. You get two legs up here, and another this bounces here. At this point, you're probably expecting, maybe you'd be expecting, because I don't know this is here yet. I think I have the level lower because you just don't know it's there. So at that point, after you see that this is two legs, gets choppy there, nowhere to get in, maybe you're looking for the measured move down, and this decides to just bounce here and 1, 2, 3 times find support and then goes back up here. This one I wouldn't even bother with that because this trend is, if you put a trend line there, that's really kind of unbroken. So even though you're into resistance, you never know, you may get a retest. So you don't really want to short into an unbroken trend. If this this breaks, pushes up to new high, that's a different story. This one's kind of thin. You can see the two legs down here into this level. This one's a little bit more aggressive, I guess, because maybe there's a thinner trend line going. You do have a green bar forming here at the end of these two legs off this what looks like a developing support area. So again, hoping for a higher low off here, it doesn't come. Then you get these two legs up, and now prices are not making it back up to these highs, which we should make note of. Maybe we're getting weaker here. So then we push immediately down. We get this pattern short, which even if this sets up nice, I wouldn't take this because you got all these bounces here. So you could get bounced out of there. And this trend then breaks and makes a new low. Again, that's aggressive. This is played out, but you never know exactly where that thing's going to end. I mean, you do have a couple measured legs here now, so that's more aggressive. I mean, what you could do if you like to take those, you could maybe go for 1-to-1 on those. So, you only have to win 50% of the time to at least be break even. So, I mean, in this instance, waiting on the lower high, which comes here, but I don't take it for reasons I mentioned. But on those sort of deals where you get those pin bar, hammer bars at the end of moves that are played out, you've got one here, two, potentially three, four trades that, waiting for the higher low you passed on and it doesn't come. But if you get bounced out of there, if you're playing it, 1-to-1, then you only have to win. I mean, you've won 1, 2, 3, 4 of those today, and just to break even, you only have to win theoretically 50% of the time, unless you happen to lose on a huge bar that you took. Then it's a little different. But these all seem to be about 3 points or so today. That one's probably about 4 there. You're probably in for almost 4 here. Probably 3.5 there, 4 there. So if you're going 1-to-1 on these and you have the stomach to hold it, if it starts retracing on you, then you're up 16 points there. So that's something to think about. And so we're just being choppy here, and you can see with this little, there's not a downtrend here necessarily, but you can see these lower highs, how this is weakening, and now we try to push up again, it's weaker. So that's where we're at. So I probably covered about 25 minutes of video in about 13 minutes here. Yeah, so there's a few decent aggressive opportunities today. This is probably the best price action that we've had in quite a while. I mean, as far as getting clean movements and not, I mean, you have some chop, but this is printing enough bars that you're getting a bunch of clean legs here. So if you're a more aggressive trader, there's quite a few setups here that you could take. This one and this one are probably the best because there's a range here, and this is played out with two legs, and there's two legs down here. This move down also has a break and a new low. So those two are probably the best out of the four that I mentioned. So anyway, getting a little choppy here, and I'll pick it up in a little while. All right, so market's just about to close here, and really since I think the update when I did start the video, we were right in here. We just got really nothing but chop. Formed this trend, broke new high, got this downtrend, but we didn't get anything to short. Just chop sideways, new low, tried to push up, pushing down again. So there's really nothing there. This is all just a mess, but there were a few aggressive opportunities today. That's when you're expecting so I was just looking at this, when you're expecting a downtrend to have a new low, you don't want to take a higher low at that point, because this might just fail on you, and this might push down and make a new low. There's no guarantees this wants to push up and make a second leg or anything. That's the same as this over here. This didn't make a this is an unbroken uptrend, so we didn't want to short there. But just the overall look for today, since we're not, this video is not too long because I kind of summarized everything. Um, so, and then once we got in this range, the overnight stuff wasn't really too relevant anymore. Prices were just kind of chopping through there. But yeah, I only see a couple. I mean, there's 4 or 5 trades today if you want to be aggressive on them. Um, this was one I wish I would have got there, couldn't get in it, and was looking for a setup here. Right, that's like an aggressive one I talked about. 2 legs down, it pushes down again, but you just never know. Is this going to start forming a wider downtrend, and is this going to pop up here? So that's why I'll do some more back testing and researching on ones that look like this. But I think if I were going to start trying to take those, I would probably go 1-to-1 on those, meaning whatever the risk is, set your target for the reward, and you got to make sure you're being um, picky about those. Um, so really got to be careful on um, extremes because you just never know when they're going to stop and anchor themselves there, or when they're going to fail and keep going. Um, and that's about it for today. I just had a couple of trades there couldn't get. Um, this one I just passed up because of how close we were to this resistance level. I didn't want to get bounced out of there on this turning into support. And if you'd have you got this move down, you get this bounce, and then if this would have set up better, like if you get a push down here and you get a triple test, this is try to push down here 3 times and you get a nice bar, that's okay to take too. Really nothing, another aggressive one, and then just no good rest of the day. So that's it for today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.